You're 52 years old. It's lunchtime. You open your super app, hoping years of hard work have finally added up. Instead, one number stares back at you. $180,000. Your first thought isn't about investments. It isn't about the share market. It's much simpler than that. Have I already left it too late? If you've ever asked yourself that question, you're far from alone. Thousands of Australians in their 50s are wondering exactly the same thing. The good news? A balance of $180,000 doesn't automatically mean retirement is out of reach. But it doesn't guarantee you'll be able to retire comfortably either. Before we dive into the numbers, one quick note. Everything you'll see in this video is based on trusted Australian research and official data, using illustrative examples to explain how retirement planning works. This is general educational information, not personal financial advice. Because one number, without context, can be incredibly misleading. Whether you can retire at 60 depends on more than your super balance. If you're 52 today, your super generally becomes accessible at age 60, provided you've met a condition of release such as retiring. But there's another milestone many people overlook. Do you own your home? Will you keep working part-time? How much do you actually spend each year? And how much could your super grow over the next 8 years? We'll use current Australian retirement benchmarks, superannuation rules, and practical scenarios to answer one question. Can $180,000 support you from age 60 until other income sources become available? Using current Australian retirement benchmarks, superannuation rules, and practical scenarios, not guesses or internet myths. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of where $180,000 stands today, and what practical steps could improve your retirement outlook before you turn 60. Before we look at the numbers, let's answer one important question. Is $180,000 actually low? Surprisingly, many Australians in their early 50s have less saved than they expected. According to Australian data, many people reach their 50s still trying to catch up. Life happens. Raising children, paying off a mortgage, career breaks, unexpected expenses. Retirement isn't only about how much you've saved. It's about the life you're planning to live. Some people spend far less than expected. Others spend much more. That's why comparing yourself to someone else rarely tells the whole story. Instead, let's compare your situation against trusted Australian retirement benchmarks. We'll use official Australian data, not internet guesses. That gives us a much clearer picture of where you stand today. Here's the milestone many Australians miss. Your super may become available from age 60 if you've retired and met a condition of release. But the age pension generally doesn't begin until age 67. That's a 7-year gap you'll need to fund yourself. First, let's see where $180,000 sits compared with other Australians. Then we'll calculate whether it could realistically support a retirement beginning at 60, including that crucial 7-year period before age pension eligibility compared to other Australians in their early 50s. So, is $180,000 a good super balance at age 52? The honest answer is, it depends. Comparing your balance to the Australian average can be useful, but it doesn't tell the whole story. That's because averages can be pulled higher by people with very large balances. Looking at the median often gives a better picture of what is typical. The important question isn't, am I above average? It's, can my savings support the retirement I want? Let's start with the national picture. According to ASIC's MoneySmart using APRA data, Australians aged 50 to 54 have an average super balance of about $190,500. With $180,000, you're slightly below that average, but much closer than many people expect. That's only around $10,000 below the average. Considering retirement is still 8 years away, that gap isn't impossible to close. Here's something many people don't realize. An average can be pushed higher by a relatively small number of people with very large super balances. That's why averages are useful, but they're not the whole story. Your career, time out of the workforce, caring responsibilities, and income all make a difference. That's why comparing yourself to someone else's balance can be misleading. And income all make a difference. The next question isn't whether you're above average. It's whether your savings can support the lifestyle you want. According to ASFA, a single homeowner retiring at 67 may need approximately $630,000 for a comfortable retirement, or around $110,000 for a modest retirement. Another important milestone. The age pension generally becomes available from age 67, not 60. That means retiring at 60 could require your super to support you for 7 years before age pension eligibility. And your own retirement may cost more, or less, depending on your circumstances. ASFA estimates a modest retirement for a single homeowner costs around $36,434 per year. A comfortable lifestyle is closer to $55,923 per year. The full single-age pension, including supplements, is around $31,223 per year. That's why many Australians rely on a combination of super and the age pension throughout retirement. Remember the timeline from earlier? If you retire at 60, you may need your super to support you until age pension eligibility at 67. That gap is where planning becomes so important. So, with $180,000 today, can 8 more years of investment growth and contributions move you closer to these retirement benchmarks? In the next section, we'll build a realistic retirement budget. We'll estimate how long $180,000 could last, and we'll look at practical ways to improve the outcome before you reach age 60. We've looked at where $180,000 sits today. Now let's answer the question you've been waiting for. What could happen over the next 8 years? Before we start calculating anything, we need to make a few simple assumptions. No one knows exactly what investment markets will do over the next 8 years. That's why we are not trying to predict the future. Instead, we'll look at 3 illustrative annual return scenarios, 5%, 6%, and 7%, to show how different long-term outcomes could affect your super balance. These aren't guarantees. They're simply examples to help you understand how compound growth works over time. First, let's assume you make no additional contributions. Your super simply stays invested until age 60. Let's start with the simplest scenario. Imagine you don't make any extra contributions at all. Your super simply remains invested until age 60. Even without adding another dollar, compound investment growth could increase your balance over time. Using our illustrative assumptions, a balance of $180,000 could grow to approximately $265,900 at a 5% annual return, $286,900 at 6%, or around $309,100 at 7%. Remember, real investment returns vary from year to year, so these figures are examples rather than predictions. 8 years may not sound like much, but time allows compound growth to keep working in the background. Now let's change just one thing. Instead of relying only on investment growth, let's assume you decide to boost your super with regular additional contributions. Even relatively small amounts added consistently over several years can have a meaningful impact because each contribution also has time to earn investment returns. The goal isn't to contribute huge amounts. It's to show how consistency can gradually improve your retirement outlook. $100 a week may not sound life-changing, but over a full year, that's around $5,200 in additional contributions. Continue that consistently over 8 years, and you've contributed more than $41,000 before allowing for any investment earnings those contributions may generate. That's why regular contributions can be surprisingly powerful over time. Let's compare those two approaches. On the left is someone who simply leaves their existing balance invested. On the right is someone who also contributes an extra $100 each week. The exact outcome will depend on investment returns and when those contributions are made. But the comparison highlights an important point. Small, consistent actions can compound into a significantly stronger retirement position over time. The biggest advantage isn't today's balance. It's the decisions you make between now and age 60. At 52, you still have time to influence the outcome. But remember, retiring at 60 means your super may need to fund your lifestyle until age pension eligibility at 67. That 7-year period is one of the most important parts of your retirement plan. Growing your super is only one side of the equation. The other side is how much you expect to spend once you stop working. Someone spending around $35,000 a year may be able to make their savings last much longer than someone spending $55,000 a year. That's why retirement planning isn't just about building a bigger balance. It's also about understanding your future lifestyle and creating a sustainable spending plan. Retirement isn't only about how much you have. It's about how much you need. Working part-time for a few years, or delaying retirement, can significantly change the numbers. At this point, you can probably see there isn't just one possible outcome. A person who makes no extra contributions may finish with one balance. Someone who contributes regularly could finish with considerably more. And someone who delays retirement by a year or two may have additional time for their investments to grow while also reducing the number of years they need to rely solely on their super. Different decisions can lead to very different retirement outcomes, even when people start with exactly the same balance. The best option depends on your health, income, lifestyle, and goals. You can't control markets, but you can control your contributions, your spending, and your plan. A balance of $180,000 doesn't automatically mean success, and it doesn't automatically mean failure. Next, we'll look at the practical steps that could improve your retirement outlook before age 60. Here's the good news. At 52, you still have around 8 years before age 60. That gives you time to improve your retirement outlook. You can't control investment markets, but you can control your contributions, your spending, and your retirement plan. Your first step is surprisingly simple. Make sure your super is still invested in an option that's appropriate for your goals and risk tolerance. Even small differences over time can matter. One of the most common ways Australians try to improve their retirement savings is by making extra contributions before they retire. Even modest amounts added consistently can make a meaningful difference over time because every additional contribution has the opportunity to benefit from compound growth. Depending on your circumstances, these contributions might be made through salary sacrifice or as personal deductible contributions. Before making any changes, it's important to understand the current contribution rules and annual caps. Many Australians choose salary sacrifice or personal deductible contributions to boost their super. These strategies can also have tax implications, so it's important to understand the rules. Depending on your circumstances, you may also be eligible to use unused concessional contribution amounts from previous years. This won't apply to everyone, but it's worth checking. If you've accumulated multiple super accounts over your career, consolidating them may reduce duplicated fees and make your retirement savings easier to manage. Many super accounts include insurance. It's worth checking whether the cover still suits your needs and understanding how premiums affect your balance. Investment performance matters, but so do fees. Even modest annual fees can reduce your retirement savings over time. Another option, delaying retirement by even 1 or 2 years can make a significant difference. For some Australians, a gradual transition into retirement can be more practical than stopping work all at once. Increasing your savings helps, but reducing unnecessary spending before retirement can also improve your long-term outlook. Keeping some accessible savings outside super may help cover unexpected expenses without putting extra pressure on your retirement savings. Before making major decisions, try using the Australian government's Money Smart Retirement Planner. It lets you model different retirement ages, contributions, and spending assumptions. If your situation is more complex, consider speaking with a licensed financial advisor before making major retirement decisions. There isn't one perfect retirement number. Home ownership, health, family, lifestyle, they all influence what retirement looks like. You don't need to fix everything overnight. Consistent progress is often more important than dramatic changes. The most important number isn't today's balance. It's the plan you build from today onward. So, can someone who's 52 with $180,000 in super still retire at 60? Let's bring everything together. We've looked at the numbers, compared your balance with other Australians, and explored the options available over the next 8 years. So, can someone who's 52 with $180,000 in super retire at 60? The honest answer is yes, it's possible, but it depends on your spending, your investment outcomes, and the decisions you make before retirement. Your current balance is only one part of the story. The next 8 years may have an even bigger impact on your retirement than the last 8. Many Australians believe retirement success is decided by one magic number. It isn't. Remember, if you retire at 60, your super may need to support you until age pension eligibility at 67. Planning for that bridge is one of the most important parts of retirement. Here's what I hope you take away from today's video. $180,000 isn't automatically good, and it isn't automatically bad. Every additional contribution, every year you keep working, every dollar you don't unnecessarily spend, can improve your retirement outlook. If today's numbers surprised you, you're certainly not alone. Many Australians are asking exactly the same questions. Financial uncertainty often feels overwhelming, but understanding the numbers can replace uncertainty with a plan. Your next step doesn't have to be complicated. Review your super, understand your retirement goals, and start making a plan. When you're making important financial decisions, always rely on trusted Australian sources and current information, and start making a plan. At the beginning of this video, we asked one simple question. Now you know. It's not about one number. It's about building a realistic plan around your own circumstances. Retirement planning isn't about being perfect. It's about making better decisions, one step at a time. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. If today's video helped you better understand your retirement options, I'd love to have you join us. In the next video, we'll answer another real Australian money question and show you exactly what the numbers say. So if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And if there's an Australian money question you'd like us to explore, leave it in the comments below. Your question could become a future episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, your retirement isn't decided by today's balance. It's shaped by the choices you make from today forward. I'm Oliver. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Aussie Money Explained with Oliver.